Vlogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal Big Footy rules still apply.
Alright, so this is the Vlogcast for round 7. Starburns joined by Dane.
It's Dan.
You're Dane. Shut up.
Penal.
Why is Ant talking?
Hello, 2 weeks ago, that joke, my old friend.
Good evening.
Cooksen.
Why is there this fucking echo?
Teach.
Hello.
Hello.
And Bender.
G'day.
Alright.
You didn't introduce Penal.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
just there was a lot of gap in between where jokes from 2 weeks ago and shit like that.
Fair enough.
But hey, we're still making the Dane jokes, so that's from last year.
Yeah, because that's so funny.
It's all in jokes and shit, Jasny.
Yeah, it's very funny, and you shut up because you are Dane.
We're almost as cliquey as the Geelong board.
Anyway, we'll begin with the most lols-worthy result of the weekend, and well, Hawthorn are no longer in the running to be the last club to lose to an expansion team. And to make it all better, it happened in the Power Rangers jumper.
It did.
What was that? It was some bloody white thing with a gold sort of... It did have a bit of Power Ranger about it.
It looked worse out on the field than it did with Gunston modelling it a month ago when it first came to our attention.
I still kind of like it, but
Well, you would.
Wonderful for hitting those bars and clubs.
don't know what
You
that
got your
says
ass-
about me.
Worst jumper to have ever graced an AFL field. Easy.
You got your asses handed back to you on GWS's platter. So, I mean, they're coming. They are a seriously good team. And if ever they were going to get Hawthorn, it was this week because without Lewis and Hodge and other outs, this was the week that they could have got him, and they got him.
I tipped this result.
And let's not forget the key defensive out, which meant that Clangers played and had a bag kicked on him.
Yeah.
7
But
goals.
just before we move on, I just feel that we've missed a massive opportunity with Paddles not being able to come on tonight to mention something about that jumper being cursed, because of with all his theories about how the strips and how they affect the game. The first time they wear it, they go down to an expansion club.
No pride in the
It's,
jumper, you're saying?
No, well, I think that there's something wrong with the jumper. I think it's going to affect the way they play if they ever wear it again in the future. Let's hope they don't.
Go Power Rangers.
Yes, fair comment.
I don't think it was the jumper. I think there's one reason why we lost, and that is called Ryan Schoenmakers, and to a lesser degree Matty Suckling, who was also fucking gash.
Good, yeah. Cameron was really good. Kicked 7, just lazy coming in.
You went the knuckle on Norf and you lost your 2 best players. That's where you lost the game.
Yeah, I reckon you're right there, Dan.
Fear of North cost them the GWS game.
Nah, I disagree, because we had 22 players out there, and they weren't good enough. Like, on paper, the 22 we had out there should have been beaten GWS.
You needed Stevic?
Yeah, we needed Stevic. We had Nichols out there for us, but he wasn't doing enough. He was barracking for GWS this time around. He wasn't giving us the armchair ride that he did in the prelim against Adelaide a couple of years ago. So Nichols has been out of form for us.
He's a bit of a suckling, is he?
There's a lot of suckling hate coming from the Hawks camp at the moment. What's going on?
Yeah, that's what's going on with that?
He's soft as butter, and he needs to be dropped this week to just say, look, you should have gone hard a few times and you didn't. You didn't do your job. You're out of the team.
as opposed to being
Ooh,
fucking useless
that's
bucket
a
of
bit
shit
harsh.
like Schoenmakers.
Yeah, like I can't see him holding his spot. Supposedly Frawley was 50-50 for the game against the Giants, and they'll definitely bring Frawley back against his old side.
It was amazing how they've all turned on clangers after that one game. Even the gooey Shep has jumped off the clanger makers bandwagon. He's had enough. The only person standing by clangers is Hodgepodge, who
Well,
Surprise, surprise.
unmovable.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
in for a penny, in for a pound. He can't jump off the bandwagon now. He's just sort of holding on to the hope that he might eventually come good.
Apparently,
And
he's a
he
good
might
forward.
eventually come good as a forward in the VFL, but I don't want him near the senior side again this year.
But Roughhead's got to go to centre half back for that to happen, apparently, for Podgy's plan to work.
That makes no sense.
Steggles got smashed though by Mumford.
Yes. He
Yeah.
laid some big tackles, did Big Mummy.
He fell on clangers just to make his day even worse. Mumford jumped on his shoulders, take him up, and squashed him.
No, the ultimate troll was from the match review panel, because the match review panel was they gave Clangers a $1,000 fine for rough conduct on Jeremy Cameron,
Oh.
and I was like, when did fucking Clangers
No,
ever
he
go
tried to
hard
snipe him
before?
when it was the set shot
Yeah.
that led to Cameron's 7th goal.
Yeah, but I was like, he fucking had a crack, like, after he's already had a bag kicked on him. Like, where was the intent, where was the aggression early in the game when it's,
Needed
up
Luke
for
Hodge
grabs?
and Jordan Lewis to set the tone. And snipe a few cunts.
I don't think it was lack of pride in the jumper, though. I think there's always a lot of pride down at Hawthorn, if you know what I mean. So I just don't buy the lack of pride argument.
But anyway, GWS are absolute rising star. So that's what we can take out of that game.
I haven't got the stat in front of me, but I think they've now beaten as many teams as the Suns have in effectively what's one less year.
And they look better. They look much better.
Sorry, it's 2 less, but odds are they'll have closed that gap by the end of the year.
They just hoarded that talent and sold it. And
And they traded. They didn't get the mature age players at the time, but they didn't go too hard after Spuds. They picked up a few overpaid ones, but in the years since, they've picked up Mumford, they've picked up Griffin, they've picked up Heath Shaw, and they've slowly picked up. They've actually injected some talent that'll be there for a few years, and then isn't completely average. Whereas the Suns haven't added much.
They
since
look
their first
really.
year.
They look really good. They look really good. So they're going to roll a lot of teams this year. That's for sure.
Let's move on to what was. Well, we'll let Cookie get a bit gooey over this one because it was St Kilda coming back and rolling the Dogs. Who saw that coming?
so 55
Hey,
points.
Cookie.
It's like the third best comeback ever, isn't it? That's
Yep.
what I was saying. Yeah.
Cookie, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Owen who?
Oh, and Saints go marching in.
This Rocky
Oh,
too.
and the Saints go marching in.
Yeah, that's pretty much what everyone was singing post game. It was beautiful. I mean, Billings just. Bontempelli might be Italian for I might rip your neck off and shit down it or whatever, but Billings is Australian for I will shit on your team from such a height that God himself will shit
You
down
mean
upon
Bogan
you.
for it?
What about Armitage, Cookie?
He became the man.
Richardson said he became the man,
He's-
so yeah, he's no longer the one doing the sucking.
So everyone gets on all fours for him.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
He's the one-
he was fantastic. That was an unbelievable comeback.
I mean, it's the best one, well, for the club since like 1920 odd or 30 odd. So,
I
and
think 20. Jesus.
I thought you were
Yeah,
still
it's
winning
pretty
spoons
much-
every year back then.
yeah, pretty
They've
much.
been
So,
winning spoons every year since
Well,
then.
27 of them if
So-
you read burnt chooks through.
Oh, God. What the hell was that? Every post was like a spoon and spoon.
but yeah, it was just brilliant. I mean, just fantastic comeback. I mean, bit shit that we let them get that far up, but again,
Wins a win.
it was the young players playing well for us. Instead of picking useless cunts like Cameron Shenton, we picked actual footballers, and actual footballers win games, surprisingly enough. And yeah, it's probably good that Rewalt was out of the forward line. It's time to Matty Richardson him.
It was an
Yeah.
amazing comeback. It was absolutely a great game to watch. I mean, I watched that second half and I couldn't believe how good they were.
The Dogs ran out of puff though with the injuries though, didn't they? Like, is there an excuse, or should they have really put that away? Like 55 points, you probably should put it away. But
They went too hard. They didn't show enough football intelligence to slow the game down and play properly. They just went in too hard, too fast, like an 18-year-old virgin.
and St Kilda knows how to take care of those.
Yeah, they do well.
Yeah, baby. But I've experience in the clutch situations like that.
If there's anything St Kilda know, it's that. But yeah, so I guess on the basis of that, we can probably ease the expectations on the Dogs. But once again, St Kilda have a reason to be excited. And 6 rounds in, once again, David King and Dermot Brereton look so intelligent for their no wins for the season comment.
Eat shit flogs.
Anything else on that game?
I mean, Stringer still looked pretty good. I mean, he kicked 4, but
It
again,
was just a great
was
game to
fantastic.
watch. It was a really, really good game to
Yeah,
watch.
if you're a Bulldog supporter, you'll watch the first half over and over again and say, man, we've got a good future. And if you're a St Kilda supporter, you'll watch the second half over and over again and say, man, we've got a good future. I think both sides are on the up, and they
And if you're
will take a
Penal,
lot
you
out of
just
that
watch
game.
the Armitage highlights.
Actually, before we move on, I want to ask Cooksen, because you said on here, literally 2 weeks ago, was the first time you felt bad about Billings over Bontempelli. So you were actually ruining and lamenting St Kilda's decision there, and I just want to, are you still...
No, I'm an idiot. I deserve to be kicked in the balls for that.
Okay.
No, I reckon I still reckon that Bontempelli is better than Billings, but Billings, he's only an inch behind. Only an inch behind.
It's not looking like a Tambling-esque selection anymore.
He'll be our James Hurd, just minus the whole egotistical cunt and
Why does everyone want
the
their
whole
own James
injection
Hurd?
of drugs.
Why don't any of you want a
Just
Michael
on
Voss?
on the subject of David Armitage, I mean, it's not like this is the first good game he's played. I think he had like 37 against Essendon last week. Where do we think he ranks among the competition's elite midfielders? Because I think he's gone past those second-tier midfielders like Dangerfield, Selwood and Cochin. I think he's now in the top tier with guys like...
Selwood, fuck
Five.
off, you fucking idiot.
I think
guys like
Armitage
Brutus?
is in the...
You cock-sucking shithead.
Yeah, the fucking punchline was meant to be Pritis, but you just fucking ruin it by melting. So I think
No,
I
as
think
soon as you said
Armitage-
Selwood, as soon as you said Selwood, you're like a fisherman trying to reel teach in.
He just
Yeah,
jumps in the
basically-
boat before you get a chance.
Yeah,
Mitch Duncan's gone past Selwood. He
I get on the first fucking...
Oh, fucking Blycabs has gone past Selwood as a midfielder. But yeah, Armitage is now in the very top tier of midfielders with Fife, Pritis and Lewis.
Agreed.
let's not even going to touch that.
Oh,
We've got about as much out of it as we can. Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
We'll
Yeah.
move on to, I mentioned before, yes, St Kilda not having a win. And that was being predicted. Well, it's only taken 6 rounds and everyone's off the board with the Bryans consigning Carlton to remaining winless in Australia.
Yes.
Did anyone actually watch that game?
No,
I
I
did.
watched the score
Yes.
tick over, but that was about it.
I watched it, and Carlton were fucking woeful.
I can
That's
tell.
all I can say. They were.
Yeah.
Well, if you're losing to this Brisbane side, you'd have to be at home.
Well, I mean,
They have to start coming
They
out with
deserve
the New Zealand national anthem, I think, if they want to start winning
I-
games.
yeah, I watched the last 10 minutes of this game, and the redeeming feature out of that was that Schoenmakers is only the second worst footballer in the AFL because Liam Jones exists.
Oh, how shit is he? He's a
He was
fucking
a-
spastic.
Redacted.
But he
He like
had a shocker.
he had a shot like late in the game to get his team
Yeah,
within
yeah.
a kick, and
Out
he
on the
kicked
full.
it out on the full from
I
like
know.
30 out.
What a spaz.
It's
He
just
was-
shocking by
he
Jones. I
was
mean, is he
freaking
really
hard.
worth the money you're paying him? I mean, Casbolt kicked better.
Is this the part where both Teach and Cooksen tell us that Evie's not even as bad as Stanley? Like, Stanley's better.
Oh, Stanley's been playing out of his skin. Gotta love the Stanley. He's been fucking great.
We might have actually settled that debate. They're both shit, but clearly one's been Carlton's and the other one might get some development at Geelong.
Oh, that was... I mean, it was painful watching that game. It was really painful because Carlton, they handballed like these loopy balls the people who couldn't get it and they missed
Because
targets.
Murphy was under pressure, yeah. You just wanted to get rid of it.
Oh, they were shit. They were utter shit. And they deserved to lose.
And everything's going wrong at
Malthouse-
Carlton because the hovercrafts ended up.
I was going to say, do you reckon it's a sneaky coincidence that Mitch Robinson's in town and the hovercraft goes missing after a win? You know, I think there's some sort of
Mitch
connection
got out
there.
on the piss with Jeffy Garlett, and they've
I picked up Favola. They just had a few.
decided to
teenies
say,
after
let's
the
fuck
game,
Carlton
and
and crash the hovercraft.
It just got ahead like a smashed coconut.
I know where Nick keeps the keys, don't worry. We'll go for a joyride before the weekend's out. And we won't tell anyone about it.
Do you reckon Malthouse has lost the players? I mean,
Oh, he has to.
He lost them the moment he walked through the door.
Oh, shit. This is a Malcolm Blight, Tim Watson thing.
But no,
you
but
know,
Tim Watson could never coach in the first place. It's a bit different.
I know, but Malcolm Blight to St Kilda, this is exactly the same thing.
We got a few of
Carlton.
those with Rocket Eat as well.
Yeah, looks like it.
But yeah, it's good. It's good to see the Bryans get on the board. People don't know, but Paddles was despairing just last week that they wouldn't win a game, and he wouldn't believe that they had a chance. But there you go.
I mean, McStay played very well.
You've always got a chance when you're playing against Carlton.
Yeah. And they
They're
saw
pretty
they
good.
saw
Richmond
the
beat
opportunity.
They're
Carlton.
pretty good, the Bryans.
Carlton are just unfortunate. There is no Carlton for them to play. We finished on that game.
Yep.
All right, let's go to West Coast skied uphill.
We didn't. We had the snowshoes on. We had the tennis rackets on our feet, and we climbed the mountain.
That's no small feat for the West Coast to beat Port at Adelaide.
Isn't
That
it
is-
illegal to shoot pufferfish?
That is no small feat.
Protected species, are they?
I mean, are the tops coming back out again?
You'd think so after that. I did like the thread about the Never Tear Us Apart. That's on. We'll come to that in thread of the week. But that the Port crowd were noticeably silent throughout much of the game, and there weren't too many of them there.
They were very quiet. And look, as good as the win was by the Eagles, Port's just not right now, and it's fairly evident in even their win over Hawthorn. They almost lost it at the end. I just don't think they're quite that they were.
Don't underestimate your own side.
Beating a good side where Kennedy didn't kick goals, that's a positive.
It's McLovin. McLovin's the man.
I reckon the Eagles are going better than everyone expects them to.
Well, they
do.
are after this week.
And,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely after this week.
Before it was just
Because I mean,
business as usual.
we saw them get smashed in the Derby by Freo and then beat up on a couple of shit teams, and then we were thinking, yeah, they're going to be around
Where they were last year, basically.
Yeah,
Which
eight
team was
to
that, Penal? Which two teams did we beat up on?
Brisbane and Carlton, I think.
Oh, there wasn't another team after Brisbane that we beat up on?
Not that I can recall.
You
okay.
don't remember? You don't remember?
I can't recall.
Wait, did they beat Hawthorn? What?
No, they beat GWS. So that was the other shit team that we beat up on.
GWS,
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. West Coast remain undefeated by an expansion team too, just quietly. It's only interstate teams left in the running. West Coast, Freo, and the Crowbots.
Oh, are you still running the number one place in that thread?
So we were the
Oh,
last Victorian
No,
team.
faggots.
the last Victorian team
No, we were the last
was St
Victorian
Kilda.
team.
What?
They
got
St Kilda losing to GWS. Oh
Yeah.
no, they'd already lost to the Suns. Sorry.
We haven't lost to GWS yet, but we will.
Yeah,
but
you're
we will.
right.
so we were the last Victorian team.
No, you're a Tasmanian team.
No, we're
Yeah.
not. We're not North. So
What does the
basically,
thing of the jumper you
because,
say? It doesn't say
because-
Victoria, it says Tasmania.
because all the interstate sides are all plastic franchises, basically. So we were the last.
Here
We
we
are the
go.
last true football team to lose
Listen
to
to
a
the
plastic
club
franchise.
that
Yeah.
pours itself out to another state and puts on a glittery jumper.
Yeah, listen to the
Um,
Tassie wanker.
I love the glittery jumper. There's nothing wrong with it.
But you're named after an
Anyway,
American
let's-
animal. That's very franchisey.
Enough about Hawthorn. They're trying to grab the attention again. Back to the West Coast and Port as well.
Jay
It was a good
Schultz took
game,
a
actually.
massive
It was actually a very good game.
How good was Pritis?
Oh, yeah, that's-
Oh,
No, he actually was decent. I mean, credit.
He did have a couple of important
How-
possessions towards the end.
How was Nick Nat's game?
is
Did he take
his
low
cock
meters
in your
players?
mouth right now?
Nick Nat was invisible, of course.
Oh, Jesus!
I don't think that's quite true, but anyway.
I think you're a bit racist.
No,
I
come
mean,
on,
you
fine.
hate Nick
I
Nat,
argue
you wanna
with him.
suck,
He's not hodgepodge. It's all right. You can get a concession out of this.
I think both in terms of what is being dubbed the best ruck tandem in the comp got dominated by Natanui and Sinclair. in terms of was it Lobby? Is that how you say his name?
Lobby and
Oh.
Ryder.
Yeah, they didn't really deliver at all because Nanui was just jump all over their faces.
Dominating, really, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, Sinclair's got
what's-
some good potential. I like the look of him.
Any more last parting shots at the Puffers, or?
Yeah, did you see what's his
Victor
name?
Wood.
Wanfreeze gets slammed by the fourth gamer.
Yeah,
As
and
well.
he got up pretty. He was on the ground, and then when the umpire called free kick, he got up pretty fucking quickly.
Oh, that's all he. That's just part of the course with him, isn't it?
Oh, miraculous recovery.
All right, let's move on. But the Puffers, they're
Yeah.
sitting iffy at the moment.
Well, yeah.
3-3.
That was a 38,000 crowd for that home game, and I reckon it'll be
They're already jumping off.
28,000 next time.
And the Puffers 3-3.
Yeah, it's a lot of teams 3-3, including the Cats, who
Yes.
we'll go to now. The concerning Cats got to. Well, they were impressive for the first half. Even Johnson looked all right.
Yeah, Johnson looked good.
Oh, we fucking smacked the shit out of him. That was great.
Blixarves is becoming a midfielder, and along with Duncan, they're carrying the side because
That is a massive backfire of thread about Blixarves because he is just
our friend the Wrangler.
Yevs from the Wrangler. He is coming on like you wouldn't believe. But look at who we've beaten. We've beaten Collingwood, who is shit. We've beaten Richmond, who is shit. Sorry, Starburns. And we've beaten
I'm
Gold
not
Coast,
arguing that.
who is
So you're
shit.
saying that Geelong are downhill skiers?
Geelong are the new West Coast.
Yeah, we are downhill skiers because we've lost to Hawthorn, North, and to Fremantle, who are
Yeah,
all
yeah. You'd have to be
Contenders?
pretty bad to lose to North.
Yeah, well, you know,
Fucking
I still think that we're shit, but it's funny to beat Collingwood like we did.
But they were inept. Like, what the fucking Travis Cloak's kicking? We say it every time, but
Man, he's a Neanderthal. He's
Yeah.
his head. He's like, kick for goal, kick for goal, kick. Oh, miss. Oh, go back.
the one he missed from 10 metres out, just when the momentum was swinging and it looked like Collingwood were coming, was just horrific.
As I said,
He's got
on the
brain
day,
damage. I mean, something wrong.
Oh,
You need to have a brain to begin with to have brain damage.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
You're saying he's a bit of a Suze, are you?
Yeah, pretty much. But he's an overpriced Levi Caswell, pretty much.
Yeah, but Suze can kick straighter than Cloak, though.
My grandma can, and she's a pile of ashes.
Horses do kick straight usually. But yeah, anything else out of that game? Look, it was another shit Friday night game, just not in the way we thought it would be.
Just Mitch,
No
Mitch
seeds,
Duncan.
no Collingwood.
Mitch Duncan, you champion.
Who the hell is Mitch Duncan?
He's like the
Oh, shut
only
up, shithead.
non-concerning
You
use
know who
they've
he
got.
is.
Isn't he like 24? That's not really
yeah,
good.
Okay.
he's been around a few years now. I don't think he counts as youth
Has
anymore.
he gone past Selwood, Penal?
Yeah, he has. I think
Does he win more of his own ball? He had a lot of contested
Yeah,
possession, so he must win more of his own ball.
18
He doesn't need to duck
contested.
too.
Yeah, well,
He-
exactly
he
right.
had
All of
18 contested possessions. Selwood only had 9. Selwood is a chip scab. That's Deledio like figures from Selwood. That's very concerning.
How many quacks did he have?
You can't.
Let's move on to, well, Norf and Richmond in Tassie. Was this the highest home crowd Norf had all year? 20,000?
Probably.
What do you say?
That's all.
Dan?
That's all
Do
I
they-
control with.
Do they really get 20,000 in Tassie?
Yeah, they've upgraded
More or less,
the-
yeah.
They've
They've
upgraded,
upgraded the
so it
stadium.
holds that much now. Yeah.
That's pretty close to a standard Victorian crowd, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just move there already now then?
Well, you're renegotiating your deal, and I think you would move there if Hawthorn would just let you, but they're pretty protective of their turf.
We don't want to let.
It was a shit game. It was a
Oh,
shit
it was
game.
horrific.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And
Tigers
and
were woeful.
North got over the line because
But-
of heavy abuse.
But Richmond did win the important KPIs, so that's important.
But we're not playing the Richmond way, which, whatever the fuck that is, Hardwick. Does anyone else want to have a crack at what that is?
Losing a shitload of games, then storming home to finish ninth.
Oh, I've got no idea, but Hardwick's desperate. Like, he shouldn't have picked Deledio. He wasn't right, and as soon as Griffiths went down the first quarter, he's planned to sub Deledio once he ran out of legs fell through, and it's just everything about it was shit. The mistakes, the lack of discipline.
I've never seen Richmond that bad before. They were woeful, turning over the footy the way they did.
We found different ways to be bad in each of our losses this year. I'm wondering what's next. I'm thinking next time they'll drag KFC boy out. They'll give KFC boy a run. That's what they'll do next. That's how they'll find a new way to be bad.
It could be worse than Vickery.
Look, he's coaching for his job. He needs to develop some players, and McBean's got to come in.
Who the hell's
Gotchin's
McBean?
There's an article apparently today from Troy Chaplin telling the Richmond Tigers to grow up and act like men. Has anyone else seen this one?
I heard that. I saw.
They need to be more like
Panda.
David Armitage.
Pre-season training, man, it's very important. Maybe if
Bonding and
Cochin
shit.
started doing that, he'd be a lot better.
Well, one other thing out of that game, just watching that game, Basil Zemplis twice in that game. Like, this guy,
Oh,
this is his
fuck,
job.
Yeah, he's
Basil.
hopeless.
His job is to call football games, right? And
He's a
twice during
fucking
that game,
shithead.
he mistook Boomer Harvey for a guy who's played 290 games. How is it that a commentator who does this week in, week out does not know that Boomer Harvey's closing in on 400? How do you...
He hasn't
how
done
do you-
his homework.
He's horrible. No, he's
so...
Just shit.
If he's
any
been
casual AFL supporter should know that though. Any
Yes,
not let
exactly.
alone a professional. Like it's just horrible. And the thing is, and you guys think you get it bad with your 3 hours a weekend. This guy is on free to air TV every night in Perth. He's on talkback radio every morning and weekday. He's fucking terrible.
How has he climbed the ladder?
if he's been,
like
if
I said,
been
he's sucked
paid,
his dick
like,
all the way to the top.
He's Armitaged his way to the top.
Indeed.
if he's being paid 200 grand a year to call games of football, he's being paid 400 grand too much. Like the only thing I can imagine is that he won some kind of contest in a magazine. Hey kids, you can be a commentator for a day, and then he entered being an adult, and then fucking there wasn't like that movie with that Jason Bateman guy where the guy enters the spelling bee at age 40. So he enters the contest, wins the kids prize, and then somehow just fucking sticks around like a parasite.
You get better value with Travis Cloak on 800k up forward kicking for goal than Basil Zemplis in the box.
Well, his name's
Oh.
Basil, so he's obviously a cunt.
Oh, let's move on. And speaking of cunts, we've got Sydney versus Melbourne with both Goods and Watts as the sub.
A pack of pansies there.
Did anyone
No.
even watch this game?
No.
No,
Where was it even on?
it was Saturday night. It was on the same time as the Freo game, so naturally I found something else to watch.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck, thank
I
God
didn't
for the
watch
A-League.
it.
Teach probably had a nap.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck off.
Teach was in bed already.
I'd take a nap over watching Melbourne and Sydney.
I'd start watching Melbourne and Sydney and then have a nap halfway through because I'd fall asleep.
What time was it on?
He's trying to find out if he actually was asleep. 7:30, I think.
Oh,
You were
well,
asleep, Teach.
no, I was having a root.
Did you fall asleep halfway through?
Oh, well, afterwards.
Did you hear the crack in Penal's voice? He was devastated.
He was shattered.
What happened to people?
Don't be upset because I'm having a root.
Did you lose air very suddenly?
Watts and Goods as the subs. Like, Watts had more kicks this week as the sub, playing a quarter and a bit than he did last week in his 100th game. But Goods has backtracked. You know, he didn't want to be the sub. Now he'll be the sub. And
What an
I don't
arrogant
know.
prick.
Selfish.
Think
Drop
that
yourself.
Sydney won. Is there anything else to say out of that game?
Nothing.
We've said too much.
Well, if we said too much about that game, what do we got to say about Freo versus Essendon?
Nothing.
Fuck off, Jose.
Nothing.
Fuck off, Jose.
Fuck off, Jose. Yeah.
Essendon lost,
Yeah.
that's always good. Otherwise, move on.
Yeah, the only thing I'll take out of that is even Robbo's having cracks at James Hird and his coaching style now, calling them boring and that they're pretty average, which says a lot. That
Oh, it's
Robbo's
a bit
stopped
hard to
drinking
beat
the Kool-Aid.
Freo. Jesus.
No, he said this in the lead up to the game, and apparently all of his criticisms were justified.
It's not the result, it's the way they're playing. Like, they barely fell over the line against St Kilda, got sort of towelled up by Collingwood, and now Freo.
And
fair enough.
Freo did him comfortably, really. Like, Pav was concussed, still didn't know where he was, but he still played well.
Well, they had smoke machines, you know, in terms of the fan engagement. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
all supposed to be. They had
Oh, yeah,
smoke
they
machines
loved
when
the
the
smoke
players
machines,
ran
yeah.
onto the oval.
Were
And-
they purple? Purple haze?
It was just, but the funny thing is, it was the game was still hazy for the first like 10 minutes from the actual cameras because the smoke was
that
just
happened.
lingering
We
around.
had our own smoke machine at the
Yeah, when
Tigers.
it caught
Something
fire
actually
in the
caught
Ricky
fire.
Ponting stand
Yeah.
at Hobart. Someone tried to, I don't know.
Is this
was
the
there.
North smoke machine though? So it was probably just like a pile of wood and someone had lit it on fire, and they had a fan, like a little handheld fan that they were blowing it onto the players as
Yeah,
they
that's
ran
exactly it. We've got a budget and we have to keep to it.
Just wait, was the sausage at the North game?
Nah, too windy, surely. In
No
Hobart.
sausage.
Oh, no sausage.
North have lost the sausage. It's gone.
Mick's stolen it. He's feeding it all to the Carlton board right now.
Didn't they use it to someone wipe their ass with it after they took a dump? Still at the cleaners. Crows beating the Suns. Do we have anything on that? Didn't watch that. It was on the same time as the GWS Hawthorn game.
Nah, didn't watch it.
Crows won
Moment,
comfortably.
Dad.
Suns barely had a team to pick from.
Watch the highlights, but it was all just one-way traffic by the look of it.
Just on that, Stephen May didn't play. He got 3 weeks for that bump on Rockcliffe. Does anyone else think that's ridiculous?
Yeah, it wasn't
That's
really
just
that
absurd.
great.
That's very
yeah,
Jack Viney-esque.
I
Probably a
thought
bit
that
over the
was
top,
stupid.
but I don't really care.
I don't know. You'd hate it if it was Zeeble, wouldn't you?
No, yeah, but he knocks himself out all the time and misses on his own accord.
I'll say it was good on
Yeah.
Eddie Betts to kick 5 goals, keep the ex-Carlton forwards.
Yeah,
Keeping
he's
on?
making sure they stay ahead. Because, Kennedy had an off week. Wait, didn't kick many. Garlett snuck in a few junk time ones too, but Eddie flew the flag and Brisbane did the rest. Let's go to the talking points, and we'll start with equalisation proposal. And, Eddie's raging because the PA wants his money.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's all the details around this?
Well, okay. From the gist of what Paul Marsh was saying, it sounds like a money grab from the players. It doesn't actually appear as though it's filtering back to the clubs with the lesser facilities more so than more into the cap, so the players make more, which is interesting because they're putting it under the basis of equalisation, but it sounds as though the players just want more money.
Are you surprised that Eddie's upset though? Because if it's anything like his TV show, he'd be paying the money out of his own pocket. He's
a whinging cunt, basically, isn't he?
Well, you had some thoughts on equalisation, Cookie, you mentioned before we started.
Yeah, it's pretty much the game is like from this round. It's relatively equal. I mean, yes, some teams don't have enough money, some teams get shit fixtures, but still, if you're off your game by like even 5% or something like that, you will lose. That's reality.
This is as close as it's got to equal for a long time, I think. He actually might be right about things when he said this is. Yeah.
And if you fuck up, it's your own fault. I mean, look at Carlton. They made error after error after error. They're gone for 10 years. Same with Melbourne. They made fuck up after fuck up after fuck up. They're shit.
And they're just getting out of it now.
Yep.
But so slowly.
Barely.
But yeah, the equalisation and splitting of the money, like, it's obviously the players want more of it. It's not coming into.
Isn't there like the salary cap's getting increased from next season from like 9 million to 10 million?
Oh, they're getting their increase in the CBA. I think that's just progressionary, but they want more.
They want more out of the collective bargaining agreement, but
because clubs are spending so much, and that's the problem. Clubs are spending too much in their football department. They should filter it back to, the supporters if they've got too much money. Like maybe in the case of Geelong, they can give you something more than a catering touch for you being a 25-year member.
A new houseboat, maybe that'll be better.
Yeah. West Coast have $40 million. That should be able to buy some interesting shit for likes of you, Bender.
yeah,
Indeed,
what have you got?
there's-
You could buy Fremantle.
Surely
hearing.
they could surely they could fund our meth habits that we have over here. Like they've got that much money in the bank.
Just buy Fremantle, and then you trade Fife for McGinnity, and win premierships.
We were already going to buy Melbourne. Don't forget that though. So would we have enough left over to buy Freo too? Maybe.
Oh, Melbourne steak knives.
Yeah.
In that deal.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where we send Ballantyne and Crowley and stuff. They go play for Melbourne.
But yeah, like what else could clubs spend money on if they've got too much? Like, they could get some better fan engagement. Carlton.
A bigger sausage.
They could buy some surfboards down in Geelong because they're close to the surf coast, and then you could buy some crack pipes down at St Kilda because you're close to the drug trade over there.
Someone who's from Geelong.
I'd have thought free condoms to avoid pregnancy scares.
No, we want more. We want more father sons. We've already got.
No, I was talking
a
St Kilda.
shitload of them.
But yeah, is that everything on the equalisation? Like, do we have any other thoughts on that? Like, are we
Just
with Eddie? We think Eddie's full of shit. Like, there were a lot of tears
I think he's
in the
full of
thread
shit.
about that from
I
Swan
think
supporters in
shit.
particular.
I think he's
he's
head.
full of
I agree
shit.
with Eddie. He is a massive troll. Like he's reached Roby levels of trolling because he just says he just has to come out and say one thing and it gets the fucking Calder supporters worked up into a massive frenzy. So good on you, Eddie. Keep doing what you're doing.
Let's move on to... We'll move on to the coaches. We got 3 of them in a row to talk about. And, well, is there an epidemic of violence going through the coaching ranks?
Yes.
Because
What?
we, on one hand,
What's
we've got
going on?
Lepic get choky with his player. We got Brad Scott tussling with the security guard. And Clarko's been
Hang
interviewed by
on.
police after that other incident with Armstaff, or Mardo, whoever it was.
Brad Scott, what?
Oh, you haven't read?
Brad Scott had a tussle with security guard, obviously. He made some comment about Suze, and Brad didn't like it.
Do you know what I reckon happened? I reckon that, with the 20,000 strong crowd, Brad got a bit spooked by all the people that were around. He's not used to that many people being around when he's at a game. And he got a bit freaked out and he lashed out at the security guard. I think he might have been a bit unsafe. That's what I'm thinking.
That's
yeah,
a good assumption, I think.
The details aren't being reported because Brad's already lawyered up over it. But
From what I heard on the radio just before I came on, apparently, allegedly, that he might be in a bit of trouble. That it's not.
That was what Robbo was trying to dance around it in his Robbo way on 360.
Well,
nearly blurted out something he shouldn't.
And I know,
And it was
like
just
the Google board listens to our podcast here, but I don't think I'm going to be in too much trouble by putting it out there. So I can got a bit more freedom than Robbo. But yeah, apparently it's not. Usually these things come out. It's usually some dickhead provoking the coach. Apparently it might be the other way around.
Google, if you are
Oh.
listening,
Yeah,
if
give
you
him a
are
punch in the
listening,
face.
your ads on YouTube, shit me, and you guys can suck dicks.
The opinions expressed just then are the opinions of the individual podcasters and do not reflect the opinions of myself or the podcast as a whole. Just sort of disclaim
One
to
in,
protect
all
myself.
in. If I go down,
Nah.
you're all coming with me.
I said allegedly enough. I said allegedly enough.
I've just given myself impunity, bitch.
Settle, Dan. Settle, because we're talking about this in a very calm and controlled manner.
And then when people try and listen to this, an ad pops up.
We're not Brad Scott. We're all calm, relaxed. We are speculating what could happen. We are not stating what happened. We are not slandering or having any slurs.
have banter, not slander.
There's a time.
That's right.
It's time for calm because the roof is closed.
Brad's got a lawyer. Do you reckon he got a Norf supporting lawyer like Reap?
I thought we have such strategy.
Or did he get Suze's family lawyer, the family lawyer?
He smacks someone in the head and he's fucking going down.
Well, do you reckon he could have been walking back to his hotel room after the game, not out of necessity, because North can't afford a taxi or a bus to get him home, so they're all trudging down the street, and maybe he got confronted by a fan.
Bell Reeves on the opposite side of the river. Maybe you caught the boat, East Geelong style.
Teacher's down there pulling the little hoot on the steamboat, giving him a lift over.
So Brad Scott's trying
Don't
to
hang
start
shit
his
on my
career.
fucking steamboat.
Is that everything on Brad?
Hang on, so the rumour is that he instigated something with the security guard. Is that right?
Well, the rumor is something's happened, and it's kind of alleged.
He took issue with the security guard apparently, and I think he might have got a bit violent. Is the sound of things like Brad's done a Clarko without genuine provocation. From the sound of things, he's gone a bit further.
Who'd win in a fight between those two?
Clarko.
Nah, Scott.
No? Clarko's
Scott
a little
would crush
man.
Brad Scott.
If Clarko pinched him, Brad would cry. His lip would tremble.
He's not fighting Brent Harvey. Come on,
As long as Clarko.
Clarko might get the first punch in when Brad's not looking.
Yeah. As long as Clarko was looking straight in the face, Brad Scott would win.
Did you reckon if you went Lee Matthews styles and punched him in the back of the head while he wasn't looking, he'd be in with the chance, Clarko?
Suze comes in with
Yes,
the chair.
definitely.
Suze comes in with the punji pit and pushes Clarko down it. For Clarko, it would only need to be a couple of feet deep.
Oh,
You should be making jokes of little.
No, I was waiting for that. Lepic got violent. If we're moved on from Brad,
Yeah,
He got a
apparently
bit angry, didn't he?
yeah, he got
he
choky.
gave it
Yeah.
to player the old choke for being a disrespectful little cunt.
I don't see what was wrong with that. I mean, this
Woden's the worst Brownlow medalist ever, basically. So apart from Job Watson,
this player mouthed off at the junior coach or the NEFL coach, and Lepich got angry at him and grabbed him just by the shirt and said, "This is unacceptable." I don't see what was wrong with that, and I don't see why he had to. I don't see why he had to apologise.
How emasculating is that for the other guy that he was abusing, though? Well, couldn't he stand up for himself that he needs Lepich to come in and
it was Woden, the guy,
being abused? Well, couldn't he have stood up for himself?
I think he was coaching when it happened or something like that, or didn't hear it.
I don't know. It's just a little bit crazy, isn't it? It's just shit.
It sounds like there might be banging. I'm just putting it out there that Lepich and Woden, something might be going on.
So 50 Shades of Grey shit going up in Brisbane?
Yeah, there's something. He's got into
50
bat for
Shades
him.
of Ginger, more like it.
Bit defensive.
You're going to Armitage him whether you like it or not. Nothing else on that?
Who was the third coach?
Probably
Clarko's
causing
been
angry.
in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like in relation to the other thing, that seems like getting closed up. But like they actually, they want to know what happened, even though we've seen the video footage and Am staff was a little bit unhappy with his treatment and a little bit annoying. But yeah.
But why aren't they calling like the Victorian police to do it or anything like that, and instead of flying over? I mean, do they have phones in Adelaide or something?
Well, they're used to Skype, aren't they, with Port?
Dean Laidley.
Yeah, Laidley was the one who did the Skyping. Yeah.
I think because West Horsham have their all weird, like they're a little bit different. Their laws are a bit different. They're
Smoke
still not-
signals.
The other thing is another punchy Queenslander is Harley Bennell. Like a bunch of them got suspended for being drunk. Bennell amongst them, a couple of other sons, and it turns out Bennell tried to fight Robbo at the Brownlow last year.
Good man.
Yeah.
He deserves a medal.
What a
Oh,
legend.
yeah. We all love him
Oh.
for that.
Why didn't he follow through?
Robbo probably would have burped on him and passed out. Gassed him. But that's a little bit ridiculous trying to punch on with fucking Robbo.
Well,
Like Robbo likes to
he's
scrap. He's
gonna-
been in a fight with another Herald Sun
He's
journo.
going to tear you down for everything that you do, even though that he deserves a massive punch in the head. He's going to just write you down in every column that he puts forward.
So the pen is mightier than the sword. Is that what you're saying, Teach?
Pretty much, yes.
Robbo's pen, maybe not, because all the spelling mistakes and shit written in the drunken haze. You can't remember who.
He probably thinks it was Carmichael Hunt.
Let's go to the questions. And we've got one. This one's from L-Dub, and I'll
Yeah.
direct it directly to Teach. And his question is, how gooey are you, Teach, for Gregson?
Oh, I'm spewing my goo over Gregson. He is fantastic.
Okay, that's all. No one else wants to add to that?
He
Or
was pretty good.
What else
Yeah,
would I
he's-
say?
Yeah, he's
well,
nothing, he
Penal
actually
could
was
disagree.
He's a non-concerning youth.
Yeah, he's really come on.
I remain
First few
unconvinced.
Normally this is the part where I'd sort of chime in with some gooey comment about how our player's better, but after this
Oh,
fucking
fuck
shit...
off, idiot.
But after the shit performance that we just dished up, I can't even muster that.
Penal's gooless.
I'm dried up.
He's adding to the tier jar tonight, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. It's going to taste a bit different this week, Penal. Alright, this one comes from Royals, and he wants to know, and then we can all handle this, but specifically maybe Cooksen. What is it about flogs melting when their sides win? And this is clearly in reference to one St Kilda supporter who, every time St Kilda wins, can't help but get angrier
I think
than if the umpires rob them.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on with that, Cookie?
the emotions of the victory get to some people. They might get a bit angry. It's just like having angry sex. You do it inexplicably for some reason, and you just don't know why. But it probably feels good, or maybe Plugger needs to wank off every now and then. I don't know.
It needs to be a bit more like Penal or Teach. You say.
Yeah, spread more goo. More
What do you
goo,
mean
less anger.
about me?
That's what I like to hear.
The world would be a better place with more goo.
Is your stomach rumbling there, Penal, is it, when talking about more goo?
I'm licking my lips.
Armitage will pop by to help you.
Let's
Plug
let's
it
go
to
the-
Penal.
Let's go to our last question, and this one comes from Go Crows. It was directed to Mardo, but Mardo's not on tonight. So he's gone missing with the rest of the Port supporters. So in the dying minutes of the Port Power, playing the Eagles, and he noticed this incident where Schultz flies forward underneath the ball, and he just wants us to talk us through the play. What do we reckon? Do we think the elephant in the room? We've all seen it, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
What do we call that? Do we call a dive, or does it need to be stronger?
In fairness to Schultz, I think McGovern might have thought it was a cheeseburger and got pretty violent and pushed him out of the way, thinking, that's my food. So you can't discount that it was a legitimate kind of, push in the back, but it did look a fair bit like a decent dive.
Bit of it looked a bit like Monfrey's coaching to me.
That's a dead set flop. That was right out of the Jimmy Bartell playbook.
Oh, fuck off, idiot.
Yeah, he went down quicker than a bucket of chicken at bloody Tom Hawkins' place. I mean, Jesus Christ, have some self-respect.
Why are you all fucking hanging shit on Geelong?
How's it any different to any other week?
In
It's
the
not.
immortal words of Bombers
It's not.
2003, why not?
Faggots.
Yeah. Yeah, he
It's a
looked like
dive.
yeah, it's a dive.
It was a
Diving's
dive.
bad. Don't do it.
I wonder if he
kids.
got up as fast as Monfrey's did after that, but we will move on to this week on the Bay. We'll start with Thread of the Week, and I think we had a few decent contenders. Anyone want to roll any out?
My Fred got ruined by Brett. Thanks a lot, you fucking cunt.
I like the
We will come back to
I like
that.
the Durrett thread. Matthew Knight's several times greater than James Hurd.
I want to nominate. I've got a couple that I liked, but my favourite one I think was Clarko ordered the code red, which
Yes, that was a good one.
that was very clever, and I
Yes.
liked the turn it took and the additions that came after that with the
Like
A Few
that
Good Men thing. Clarko ordering a code red, and he was Jack Nicholson. I thought that was great from Caddy UK and a few others.
I felt the Schoenmakers Fred was very good this week.
Kick a bag.
Yep.
Yep. Anyone else got anything?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Beats28772 for posting all the GIFs inside the KFC boy Fred.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just for that post, I mean, it was just brilliant. A lot of expressions there. Good material to work with, maybe.
Nothing. No one got another suggestion.
I'd like to just...
Yeah, I'd probably go with Durrett's one with the Carl's Meg flogging.
I'm on the Code Red bandwagon. I love a good play on the Few Good Men script. I think it's always good.
So Few Good Men Code Red one, was it?
Yeah,
Few Good
I
Men
got
Code
3
Red.
votes for that.
That's for me. Yes.
Now back to what Cooksen said about his thread getting ruined. Flog of the week, Brett.
Brett or Plugger, I think.
Oh,
What about Burnt Chook?
Oh, Burnt
We
Chook.
mentioned
Oh my
Burnt Chook
God.
before.
Burnt
I think it's
Chook.
Brett or Burnt Chook for this one. It's really, do you want the guy who melted over the loss and made a shit thread, or do you want the guy who is basically the Game of Thrones grayscale of the Bay? Once he touches it, he spreads everywhere and turns it into something grotesque.
I gotta go vote for Brett. He's just awful. Like, he's the Ryan Schoenmakers of the Bay.
yeah, I'm
Casbolt thread had serious potential until he went in and started talking about, ironically, Jared Waite.
with Penal. I'm going for Brett.
Burnt Chook deserves a dishonourable mention.
Ruined my
but
Fred,
yeah,
man.
Brett.
Yeah, give Bert Chook a spoon badge or something. I don't know.
That was horrific. Just 27 pictures of wooden spoons. It's just
Do you use them all to spank your fucking team's ass, Burnt Chook?
there's the argument that Burnt Chook is an elaborate troll, but I think Burnt Chook actually broke just a little bit on Saturday.
Oh, he did. Yes.
He's like the Diet Coke version of Plugger.
Except he's melting after the loss. Let's go to the last week's poll then. If Brett's won, where is Jack Watts at? 9.4% said the sperm bank. 12.5% said sitting on a chair with Penal. 12.5.
Shut up, Dane.
12.5% said country kitchen buffet. Wonder if you saw him there, Teach. 15.6% said replacing Colin Sylvia at Freo. 18.8% said applying for the Richmond coaching job, and 31.3% said pre-season training with David Armitage.
All about getting those hardball gets.
Was he intercepting something else, or?
The goo.
You guys talking about footy?
I haven't seen him, so.
No, we're talking about anal sex.
Let's move on to this week, and we didn't get your tips last week, Teach, so hopefully no one was left in the lurch. I saw EIMM wanted them, but Yes. So how are you tracking with your 5-man tipping comp?
Yeah, I'm still up there. I'm only 2 from the front.
So you're mid-table, is that what you're saying? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm going to win
You're
it.
3 out of 5.
I know I'm going to win it.
Well, there's a
well,
good
let's
chance
go.
that you will. I mean, there's only 5 people in your tipping.
20% chance of winning.
Teach. The people need to know, will your tips, would you state, will they be the ones you put in your 5-man tipping comp?
Yeah, of course.
Good, I'm going to steal them.
Yeah, actually, I think Teach deserves a dishonourable mention now in the Flog of the Week stakes for the second week running, mind you, because he just left poor ELMM in the lurch. That guy came into the thread. He wanted to get your tips, but you just ignored him. That was very rude, Teach.
And he probably got donuts tipping this week because of that too.
Tips seriously.
Yeah,
well,
especially
fuck him.
the guys from South Australia.
Fuck him. I couldn't give a fuck.
Alienating the fan base.
Don't you care about your West Horshamites?
Nah,
So
they're fucking idiots.
Let's go to next week's games, and we'll start with Essendon Norf on the Friday night at Etihad Stadium. And
Ooh.
North, easily.
Essendon aren't that good, and North this year are beating the teams they should and losing to the teams they should. They're completely unlike last year, so they'll beat Essendon because they should beat Essendon.
North will win, Essendon are shit.
Unless Brad Scott's in the lockup.
They'll probably
That
play
means
better
North will
then.
probably do better.
That's no disadvantage to us if he's behind us.
Maybe Suze will coach.
Oh, dear.
Obligated to pick North, so I'll pick.
Get on Teacher's bandwagon, people.
Bandwagon back.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure about the bandwagon. I reckon the guy who's fixing the bandwagon is a dodgy Romanian immigrant.
Could be worse. He could be an East Geelong immigrant.
I want Hardwick to get sacked so Suze can coach Richmond. Gives Troy Chaplin a run in the midfield.
Is that everyone?
I got North as well.
Crowbots Saints
Where?
Crowbots.
at the Adelaide Oval. The
Croats. What's?
Crows. Crows are skiing specialists this year.
Crows.
Crows. But we'll probably make a good fist of the game, so Crows by 30.
Armitage
very
make a good
Armitage
fist of
of
the
Yeah,
game.
it'll be close, but Adelaide will get up.
Hawthorn versus Melbourne at the MCG. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Does anyone think Melbourne?
Are we serious?
Well, they are without Hodge and Lewis for another couple of weeks.
I'm nervous about this game after the way we played last week. I think if Frawley doesn't get up and if Schoenmakers stays in the team, Melbourne will win.
Jesse Hogan
but
is a bag.
yeah, Jesse Hogan will kick 12 if Schoenmakers is inside. But I'm assuming that Frawley's fit because I think he's meant to be fit this week. So yeah, I'll tip us on that.
Are you listening to yourself? You're hoping that Hawks rush Frawley back in to cover with the Melbourne forwards.
That's how fucking
this is what you've been
concerned
reduced
I
to.
am about Schoenmakers. Like,
Hawthorn, easy.
Yeah, Hawks.
Hawthorn.
I think Hawthorn will win, but yeah, you'd be suitably nervous because you haven't de-Melbourne Frawley yet anyway, Penal. So even if you drop Clanger-Makers, he still might get taken to the cleaners.
Yeah, he might kick the wrong way.
Melbourne in an upset.
And there is why you're bottom of the tipping ladder.
Oh, yeah, I should just last week.
Oh, you did too. Yes, you did. You were the only one.
Thank you.
Oh no, wait, no. A bunch of us tipped GWS last week, didn't we? For the loss.
Yeah, because you all jumped on the wagon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
How did we not go over that? We were right. Carlton versus the Giants. Does anyone give Carlton a chance?
Oh
It's at
dear.
Etihad.
Giants will
No.
give them a right proper milning.
Yeah, I think GWS will do what the Dogs weren't able to do at St Kilda and put the team away once after their big win.
yeah, so we saw the Bryans game against Carlton. No one had kicked 2 goals or multiple goals for the Bryans all year, and someone kicked 4, someone kicked 3. So you just wonder how many is Cameron going to kick? Could be 15.
It's between Cameron and Hogan if Clanger-Makers plays as to who kicks the most goals this week, is it?
Pretty much. I kind of want to
Nice.
see. Liam Jones get centre fullback and play on Cameron, just so we have some kind of comparison to know. Okay, maybe Clangers isn't quite the worst.
Knowing Mick will
Giants
probably have-
and Mick Malthouse to get sacked.
Oh,
Yeah, Giants
Yeah.
by 100
Did the
points.
president come out and say that they're sticking with him till the end of the year?
They did, so that means he's going to get sacked.
That's true. All right, yeah,
Kiss of
Giants.
death.
Giants, this could be their first 100-point win. Sydney versus Geelong up at ANZ Stadium, so it's not their usual home ground. It's long and it's thin like Skilled Stadium, but still think the Swans win.
You had me at long and thin.
That doesn't even answer the question.
It's Sydney, so
Oh dear. I lost my train of thought now.
Geelong's in a decent shout in this, but this is probably the hardest game of the round to tip. I'll go Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney.
Yeah, Cats.
Sydney will win by a lot. I think Selwood will duck a lot, and yeah. My
Shut up,
prediction.
faggot.
West Coast, Gold Coast.
Sydney will win. I didn't tip.
We didn't tip last week either. You
Wait
cunt.
for me, guys. Wait for me.
West Coast versus Gold Coast. This is once again another team that had a good win. They want to consolidate against a team they really should roll.
West Coast to go all
yeah.
Swiss Alps on them.
Is it, what's it called? When's Ablett back?
Not for a while.
Indefinitely, I think.
I heard round
Okay.
15.
It's not this week, that's for sure.
Well, then in that case, yeah, we will ski all over their faces. That's what it's going to be like.
Penal and those others might be back, so you can get a look at the guys you might trade for at the end.
Yeah, he'll be coming to West Coast. He's got an addiction waiting to happen, and we're ready to pick him up.
Yeah,
Spend that $40 million wisely.
Exactly.
West Coast to win easy.
West Coast to win the battle of the sort of fake expansion franchises.
Coming from once again the club that whores itself out to a state with no money.
Come from the make looms.
No,
Yeah, shut up, Power Rangers.
we do it
Yeah.
so that guys like Jasny can go down and watch the football
No,
in
that's what Norf
Tasmania,
do.
so that they can watch a good team play.
But I could see North and Ben Brown.
Yeah,
What
North
else
have
want to
never
see
lost
about?
to the Giants, so
Schoenmakers
I don't
is
think
the
that
best
statement stands up.
Yeah, but they've lost to the Gold Coast, and besides, we were the last Victorian team to hold that record.
Bulldogs Fremantle at Etihad Stadium. The game that
Fremantle.
wouldn't move.
Freo.
Dogs.
They're just too good.
Yeah, Dogs.
Fremantle.
Richmond Collingwood at the MCG. Collingwood will roll us.
Collingwood.
Collingwood.
Yeah, I want Richmond to win, but it's going to be Collingwood.
As bad as Collingwood were on Friday, they still look better than Richmond.
The only chance is Neanderthal Cloak knocks some people out for us.
They can send Vickery to do that.
Yeah, we might just send him in there to give the code red, Clarko style. Brisbane versus Port to finish off the round. It's at the Gabba. Brisbane had a win, Port had a loss. I think Port bounced back on this.
Port.
The revive of the pufferfish.
Yeah, pufferfish for me.
Yeah, Port.
So they'll avoid a catastrophe at their next home game of a lack of crowd.
Port.
Alright, that's everything. But before we wind up, one last thing, Teach.
A13 would like to veil the passing of Camo 78, one of our great posters, and we wish his family and friends all the best, and we hope that everything goes well for them. Thank you.
Lower North.
More North indeed.
Oh, North.
Lower North.
So this was the forecast for round 7. Starburns joined by Penal,
See ya.
Dane,
Bye-bye.
Cooksen,
Bye.
Bender,
Fuck off, Jose.
and Teach.
Why am I fucking last?
Because
Anyway,
you want to be last.
bye-bye, everyone.
You're driving the train, Teach. You got to be at the front.
Choo choo.
All aboard the goo train.
Chugga, big red coat.
Wait, it doesn't say goo, does it?
What are you talking about?
The lyrics to the song.
No, it
lyrics
doesn't.
have goo in it.
It's a children's song, and there's no goo. There's no goo in the lyrics.
Some children's songs are remarkably sexual, though. Like that.
Go on.
Yeah, go on. Give us an example.
Yeah, come on.
Did you have to stop for a stroke or something, Penal? You couldn't get it
He's got nothing.